Hi guys, so today we're going to be talking about eyeshadow, and it's something that I'm always so surprised that I get compliments on, because I feel like when people give you compliments sometimes you're like, are you sure though? But when it's something you get a lot of compliments on, it gives you hope that maybe you're doing something right. So, you know, luckily I get lots of compliments on my eyeshadow, but I think it's something that if you have like a basic knowledge, that it's really easy to do and you don't need anything really expensive or really fancy to do it. So this is gonna be makeup lesson for beginners on the eye. So I'm gonna be using these eyeshadows. So I have the W7 Neon Lights, but yeah, so I'm probably gonna be using this purple shade because I think I'm gonna go for purple. And this cost me like 3, 4, 5 pounds I think when I bought it. Really inexpensive. W7 I think is a good brand. And then I'm going to be using Sophie does nails. I'm going to be using her eyeshadow palette. It's actually a highlighter palette, sorry. And it's by Revolution. And this is still in Superdrug at the moment, so you can definitely get this one. And I'm going to be using this purpley, almost like blue, shiny color. And that's £8. The third one I'm going to be using is Moon Dust by Urban Decay, which is obviously the most expensive one. But it's like only sparkles, and so I'm going to be using Magnetic, the only one that has a name, so you know it was expensive. So I think something that people don't really think about sometimes is what color goes best with their eye color as far as eyeshadows go. So I think like when you have brown eyes, or sort of like quite dark black to brown eyes, the best colors that go best with that color is obviously the same color, so using browns and just sort of like warm tones can look really pretty. So like, you know, sort of like golds and light browns and dark browns, they all look really nice. They can go with anything because they're sort of a neutral color. They can have purple, pinks, blues, whatever color you want. I like to have really colorful eyes, so you know, don't hold back. But then again, don't hold back anyway. You do what you want, you know, whatever you're comfortable with, go with that. So if you have blue eyes, I think you should go for like cool tones, and like sort of like a light color. So silver, green is best with slightly warmer tones, so like light brown, a light gold, sort of like almost like a yellowy tones, and green as well, obviously. And finally, if you have gray eyes, I think lots of things can go well with gray eyes, but I would probably stick to cool tones. So silvers, charcoal, you know, even green can look nice because it's on the cool tone side. And I think, you know, if you think about the opposite color that goes against your color, so I guess the opposite of gray would be black or white. That's gonna look nice. The opposite of green is sort of like brown, so that looks nice. And blue is red, so red, oranges, and also cool tones. So I think those are sort of basic rules, but they're not necessarily like the be all end all of eyeshadow. So I'm gonna go for a purple look. I'm like really wretched and I only ever use my fingers, so that's what we're gonna be using. And I'm gonna use this brush mostly just for effect, but it's also good to have a brush for blending. So I like to go for a 3-step rule. So I go for this purple will be my medium tone, and then this dark purple will be the last color that I use, and then I'll use like a highlight shade, this very light purple shade right, oh, where the fuck is it? Oh, right there. Let's give it a go. Obviously, if you're getting fallout during eyeshadow, just brush it off. And because eyeshadow is, you can have really expensive eyeshadow and it will still fall out. So I always suggest putting on your eyeshadow first. I think you could do your eyebrows first if you wanted, but I'd say putting on eyeshadow first is the best because you're usually putting on colorful stuff and you don't want your cheeks to be like purple. Okay, so once you've applied your eyeshadow, one thing that I like to do is always have some makeup remover handy, just in case it, you know, transfers a bit more than you wanted under your eyes. And it also can help you get a sharper sort of edge on your eyeshadow if that's what you're looking for. And I usually like a sharper look to my eyeshadow rather than like more of a round shape. So sorry about the background noise, but basically I just get a little pad with some makeup remover on it, and I just go under my eye where it has fallen out a little bit that I couldn't remove with a brush, and I just make a sort of sharper line. And you want to sort of go from the corner of your eye and swoop around like that. I think this one needs to be a little bit higher up. Okay, so next we're going to move on to eyeliner. So the eyeliner that I use is the Maybelline New York Lasting Drama Liquid Ink. It's kind of a mouthful. I think this is about £6. I got this in Boots, but I'm sure you can get it in Superdrug as well. So I think for eyeliner, every eye shape is different. Like I've worked with my sister and a couple of different people where they've had quite hooded eyes or monolid. I think you have to understand your eye shape a little bit. So if you have monolids, the best thing to do is to get the bottom section of your eyelid, fill it with liner, and then for the wing, that's sort of up to your preference. It depends on whether your lid covers sort of the outside of your eye, and you might have to sort of draw on top of your eyelid as well as on the side. And from like my sister, like she has hooded eyes, so I find doing a thinner line on the top of her eye is the best way to do it, and then you have to do your wing more like that way rather than up. And I think that goes for most eye looks. I think you think, at least I do, I think in my head that your eyeliner is supposed to like go up, but that often doesn't work with the way that eyelids crease in general. But I have quite open eyelids, so I just get my eyeliner, and if you're worried about this, I'll show you what you can do. And I used to do it for a really long time. If you're worried about creating straight lines, you can just buy little tapes, and these are not cosmetic tapes. I got these from Tiger, but they're fine. I'm not really too worried about them. I could understand if people were. Not necessarily recommending them. I'm sure you can get special tape for your eyelids. I can't recommend any, but I'm sure if you looked in Boots or in Superdrug, they would probably have something. If not, you can always look on Amazon or eBay. So what I do, I get the tape and I just pop it right on just underneath my eyelid where I'd like the line to go from. And you might have to reposition it a couple times because it needs to sort of be like exactly where you want it. Now you really gotta make sure that it's stuck down right by your eye. Otherwise, it could be a disaster. So I got my eyeliner, and you're just gonna go on top of the tape. Okay, so I'm gonna take off the tape now. I think you can absolutely still use eyeliner with or without tape using this method. So that's one wing. It's very swoopy, but I still think it's cute. And I think you can position the tape differently for however you want to do it. So first we gotta hydrate. Cucumber! Anyway, so I think I'm just gonna freestyle this side just so you guys can see. This is the really hard part because you have to get them to match. So, wish me luck. Okay, so that's the best I can do right now. You just have to get used to finding out what eyeliner is best for you. And if this one is not right for you, which it totally can be, I have some other recommendations. So for boots, they have the collection, like their own collection brand. Do you know what I mean? Like the natural collection, I think that's what it's called. And their eyeliner is super cheap. I'm sure it's like £1.50 or £2.50 or something. And I used that for quite a long time, and I did find that really good. And I've definitely used some other ones. I don't recommend personally using markers because I think they're quite difficult to use, and I think the tips, they don't bend. They're quite stiff, and I think that can be hard to use, whereas this one does have a similar sort of foam tip, but it's not hard to use because it can move around quite a lot, which is really useful. Also, something I forgot to mention was the eye primer that I use, which is Revolution, which is really good. And it's something I didn't use for a really long time, but it's still a good one. And next is eyebrows. So for eyebrows, I use the Cabrow by Benefit, and I really like this. The little brush that they give you at the top is crap, I'll be honest. It's probably one of my least favorite brushes that I've ever used. So eyebrows, although they're not, you know, they're not your eyelid, they're not eyeshadow, I still think they really help frame a face. So I think it depends on what you want to do. Like, you can have sort of straight brows, you can have round brows, or I personally like to do quite like arched brows. So I have this one. I can also recommend I think it's like number 8 eyebrow gel. I got it in Superdrug and I had it for a really long time, but I think the color was too dark for me. So I got a new eyebrow brush because I lost the last one again. But yeah, so this is just from CO and I got it today. So this is the CO eyeshadow pencil or eyebrow pencil. It says that it's an angled brush, but I've used this one a couple times. And I've bought it a couple times because I keep losing it, not because the quality is bad. But I got it in my boots. I swear it's like £3.50. It's really cheap. So I highly recommend it. And I like to sort of get it quite, like, I get a lot of products on the brush to begin with. I like to start in the middle of my brow and just sort of brush it on. Let me put on a headband because this is a struggle right now. Tried to get one hairband and 8 flung at me, so it's lucky I'm not dead. Back to the eyebrows. When I do the part that is closest to my nose of my eyebrow, I like to have used most of the product on the brush so that that bit is lighter than the back, because I think that looks like a bit more natural. And although I would not say that I'm going for a natural eyebrow look, I do like it to look not super full on or made up. Okay, so that's the finished eyebrow look. And for my eyebrows, I do really like using pomade, which is sort of like this, well, they call it a cream gel brow color with brush. But I like it because it has the best color payoff. And you don't have to use a lot because, like, I think this is quite expensive. It is like 20-30 quid, but it would last a really long time. So I would definitely recommend it if you have the money. If not, I have used eyeshadows in the past. And if you want to have a more natural look, I'd say eyeshadows are definitely the way to go. And they are probably easier to maneuver, but for the best payout as far as color goes, I would definitely say go for a pomade or some sort of gel. With pomade, it is a gel, so it will stick to the brush and then actually make it hard so I can't really use it the next time. But yeah, so that is the eyebrows done. So finally, to complete this look, I'll be putting on some mascara. And I use 2 mascaras at the moment. I use the Kiko Standard Volume Mascara. And I also have a mini roller lash by Benefit, which I use for the back or sorry, not the back, the bottom of my eyelashes. So I use a mixture of the both, and I like to layer them because I'm not very good at putting on fake lashes, and I also think they're a bit of a faff. So I just apply this one as per probably most people do. You slap it on your eyelash. But yeah, so I think this Kiko does a really good job. I got it on like a 30% off sale, and it was like £3.70 or something, which is absolutely crazy money. So for a mascara, that's really not that bad. So I would definitely recommend that brand. And then I just use this little roller lash, and I use a mini one because it has a smaller bristle. And I just do the underline section. So this is the final look. And so that is everything. Thank you for watching, and I hopefully will see you next time. Bye!